Oh, yeah. Want me to play guitar?
Sure.
Start.
It's hard up, dude.
I need to pick. All right. Which four chords should I play today?
That's a question. Oh God, Larry, you're very loud though. You forget your mic is right next to the guitar.
Oops.
Oops. Hey,
Yay.
hey. We're back at it.
Let go.
Nice. So, topics for this one is topical, esports and Easter. Not together, but but that's what we want to talk about today.
Yeah,
So, let's get let's get the fun one out of the way first. Easter. That's Sunday.
that is Sunday. So, which makes today Good Friday.
Yeah, it is a good Friday. What up?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Actually, like last night, I got home from work at
Mhm.
like, no, was it from work? I don't remember. I got home by like, yeah, I got home from work at like 4,
Mhm.
and then like took a shower, like did some homework, and it was like 6 o'clock, and I was like, I'm tired, so I went to sleep. I woke up at like 10 o'clock this morning.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was like so tired, and but like I woke up like pretty rested. It was nice.
That's good. So did you do anything for Good Easter or Good Friday?
Um, I worked.
Ah,
I didn't do anything
productive.
special.
Do you normally do anything special?
Um, I know some churches have like services.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I don't know if my church has a special service that I'm not at right now, but
Oh no.
it's all right.
Nice. Normally for Catholics it's the last Friday that you can't eat meat.
Oh yeah,
So,
you can almost you can
y-
break fast.
yeah, yeah. It's funny though, 'cause it's like when you think of fasting, you're like, dude, that's hardcore. It's like, dude, it's once a week. You just don't eat meat.
I mean, depends on the fast, right?
Yeah, yeah. But just like standard from what people I know do, the ones that aren't like religious, like you know what I mean, like hardcore about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. My sister did one year where she went like 3 months without meat, but that
Ooh,
was just to like test herself.
that's so hard.
Yeah. It's like it's hard, but meat is so good.
Yeah, I don't think I can do giving up meat. I
Yeah.
don't even know like what to eat.
Yeah. That's the crazy thing though. From a religious perspective, you're like, yo, dude, this is like a huge part of my life. I'm gonna give it up for you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. 'Cause I feel like that's what, at least that's what in Catholic school, that's what they were like, yeah, dude, Lent isn't about like, the Easter bunny or anything. It's more about like, what are you gonna give up to
Yeah.
show your, you know. So yeah.
I think like I mentioned this at like the beginning,
Hmm.
like 40 days ago, I guess. Like
Yeah.
I or I was fasting. It wasn't for Lent.
Uh-huh.
It just kind of happened on Lent. Like I gave up like video games for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And, like that was already really hard. Of course, like recently, I don't think I played any games this week because of work. But like before I started working, like it was really hard.
Nice. Well,
But like
you
it did allow
tried.
me to like, or it I did it for 2 weeks. It
Yeah.
was fun. And then like like during those 2 weeks, like I did end up like focusing on God more, like reading my Bible more. Like I finished so many books in the Bible
Dude,
in
that's
that time.
nice. That's great.
Yeah, and then like it's like still continuing like onto now, like the trend of like reading my Bible more. So
Nice. Yeah. That's the weird thing. That's the one thing that I was not like this is stupid, but more like, why is it, if you want to do this for yourself, Like
Yeah,
the 40 days is kind of like you could do that any time of the year. So I've always like, during a period of time, I'll just like not do something, you
yeah.
know?
It's like
Instead,
focus on.
yeah. Instead of just being like, "Oh, dude, you know what? Oh shoot. Yeah. Oh god. Okay, we're back." I accidentally double clicked on one of the screens so it zoomed in, so it messed up the overlay. But yeah, but I feel like it's one of those things where it's like you do it, so it's kind of like a test to yourself, but like I feel it's I don't know that's it's just something I've always been like, why don't you just do this like any time of the year?
Yeah, I guess like it helps be like people around
Yeah.
you are doing it too.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, that's something like I mean I guess it's like kind of something people do like right like
yeah.
people fast so they get skinnier or whatever. Like yeah,
Yeah.
those people.
Mhm.
But yeah. I think like fasting like food, like the it's actually like pretty interesting. Like you fast food, like we have had like what was it like 40-hour fast or whatever.
Mhm.
I was like 40 hour, like 32 hour fast or something. And then, but like where like we just don't eat like
Mhm.
like nothing except water.
Yeah.
And like that time is like when you're really hungry is like
Yeah.
for you to like um, focus on God more, like
Yeah.
because you're hungry, like realizing that like God
Mhm.
can fill that hunger, like because God's there.
Yeah.
So
That's what I mean though, is that like I feel like it's a more individual thing.
hmm
So that's why I was always like, you know, I would, I'm not a disrespectful person, but I'm always thinking in the back of my head, like, I mean, if you do this 40 days out of the year, what do you do in the rest, like the 325 days,
yeah,
where it's like you could do that anytime. It's just like as long as you do it in good faith, kind of thing. I feel like it's one of those things where you can just do it whenever.
yeah, and yeah. If you're like doing it for yourself, it's whatever. But like if
Yeah,
you're doing it to focus on God, like
yeah.
you also like I think it says in the Bible somewhere I don't remember where like have people pray for you while you're doing it and
hmm
making sure like people
Uh,
around you know
that's true.
like
That's true.
so
And I,
you can focus on God more and like
yeah,
also helps you not suck at fasting.
yeah. I think it also, I think for like a reason to do it during the 40 days is also kind of like the community is with you, so you're like you said, kind of thing where it's like, oh, dude, this sucks, but you know what? We're all doing it. We're all
Yeah.
getting closer. But yeah, are you doing anything on Sunday besides going to church?
Uh, I don't think so. Like church, probably hang out with my family a little bit.
Uh, gonna eat anything special or just like normal
No,
family dinner?
just normal things.
Uh,
I think like I just don't go home enough, so like
oh yeah, so it's
every
just
time I go home is like pretty special.
so it's like family time.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I work this weekend, so can't go. But
Unfortunate.
yeah, I'll be like, well, I'm gonna read my pocket Bible. Close enough. At
Yeah. I
work.
mean, I have a Bible app.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like Bible
Yeah.
app. Find some stuff that like I'm like, yo, this is relevant to me. Let's dig deeper. Get context and all that. But yeah. Anything else on Easter?
I don't know. I think it'll be a cool time. I know every year my church has a cantata. Like Christmas and Easter, we do like this cantata thing where like
hmm
they get people to come, or like they invite like the youth and like the college to like sing in a choir and stuff, and like
hmm
they get a band and everything. But this year, like they didn't do that. I think it's just like the regular like choir people. Like we have a choir and like usually it's just like a bunch of old people in it, and like I think they usually only sing for the Chinese service.
hmm
But like this year, like I think he just this year. So like I'm actually like a lot more free like this season than
Oh,
before
nice.
because like I
Nice.
don't have to practice for choir.
That's good. So yeah, hopefully you have a good family time and good church time Sunday.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah. All right. So I guess next thing you wanted to talk about was anime.
Yeah.
So
So
what's new with
I,
anime?
I finished Monogatari second season,
Oh yeah.
and me, Yifan, and David, another friend, we watched Kizu Monogatari,
Mhm.
which are the Monogatari movies,
Ah.
and so which and they were all so good, except the third movie was kind of weird. And
You want to remind me what the series is about? Because I
you
feel
should
like,
watch it; it's so
well,
good.
just I'll add it to my list. But you want to remind?
Yeah, so Monogatari is about so this guy named Araragi,
Mhm.
and he he likes little girls, but that's not important. It's just kind of funny.
You mean he admires little girls?
No, no, he likes little girls.
Oh, okay, he's a pedophile.
Yeah, but but it's
but
not
it's
it's not
not
that important.
relevant to the story. Okay.
Yeah, it's not that important. It's just like a funny thing to have.
Okay. Oh, okay. It's for humor. It's not.
Yeah,
It's not some deep dive into.
yeah, it's mostly
Okay.
humor.
Okay.
Um,
I'll feel less sketchy about watching it now.
that's not the main plot. Like the plot is that like he's a half vampire or
Uh-huh.
kind of vampire, and he so he goes around and like saves these people with like other oddities and like problems, and like these so what these oddities represent are like people's different mental problems and like different things going on in life, and those things going are too hard, like it creates a oddity or like this weird monster,
Oh, okay.
and like so he goes and like solves like the problems around like his life and like the oddities around his life and his friends.
Nice. So
And
it's kind of
it's
up
like
your wheelhouse.
yeah, it's like really interesting because since like every oddity is like kind of represents like a different mental problem or like it like yeah, it's really interesting to watch, and like it's just like even though like a lot of times they sit there talking, like they make it so interesting and like how they talk and like how they discuss these problems. And
Okay.
yeah,
Uh,
so like uh, trauma is like a problem they deal with, and like so there's like girl with like a lot of stress, and like there's someone who like was like had gossiped was gossiped about, and so like she's feeling bad. And then like as the show goes on, like goes through different topics, like not even just like mental things, but like things about life. Like this whole part of the first season, I guess it's called Nisei Monogatari, which is fake story.
mhm.
It talks about like being fake and like how a person can be fake, and yeah, it's just like really interesting when we discuss that.
Cool. Maybe.
And
All
then
right.
so yeah, I just finished second season. I finished Kizu Monogatari, and it was, it was also good. Like I don't think I've ever watched an anime like so consistently good for like so long.
Nice.
And like I had a few tears watching second season.
Is it one of those that it's better to binge watch it or like watch it in parts?
Um, I can't binge watch it because
Uh-huh.
I'm like thinking
Oh yeah, right.
all the thing about it.
You told me about that.
Yeah,
That's the only thing I remember from it. Is that it's like it's not one of those like 12-year-old animes where you can just run through like 100 episodes and you're like I feel
yeah,
something and then you
yeah.
move on to the next
Definitely have to
episode.
like think about it
Yeah.
and like try to make sure you understand, or else like it makes the story like so much more. It's so much better if you think about it.
Okay.
And then so after I finished second season in Kizu Monogatari, I I started watching Mob Psycho. So I actually binge watched the first season.
Hmm.
I watched like 2 episodes, and then the next day I watched the rest, like the next 10 episodes,
Nice.
and then like, man, Mob Psycho was a lot better than I thought. I watched first season like when it came out like a few
Uh-huh.
years ago, but I completely forgot, so I rewatched it again because second season looked so good, and I was like, wait, this is a lot deeper than I thought. Yeah, I just started second season, and yeah, it's a lot deeper than I thought, and like how they explore like mob and like how they explore um, like there's like a few characters like the bully guy, and then Aratakas, whatever his name is, um, the master dude. Uh, like how they explore like the different aspects of like these three characters or these different characters, like really interesting. And
Nice.
like it's a little bit like Monogatari, where like especially in the second season, where like the spirits can come from like people's stress and stuff. But the first season is just normal evil spirits and stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've just been watching more anime recently,
Cool.
and I wanted to talk about it.
Well, that's cool. I've been like, well, I've been kind of reserved watching anime because I'm like, a lot of anime or the popular ones are kind of the same. So I'm like, I'm gonna wait till a series
Okay,
is
yeah,
either done or it's like seasons of it are done and people are like, this is different, you know? Because it's like, if you watch, say you watch or read Naruto, you get the same feeling from like, One Piece or Bleach.
a little bit.
It's like, the protagonist isn't like your first choice to be like a hero, but they've developed into one kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like you watch like Naruto and then you switch to like season 1 of Attack on Titan, you're like, dude, whoa, right?
What's going on?
You're like, mind is blown, how can this be? So I'm like waiting for stuff to keep going and for stuff to be, like good stuff to come out that's like different. So I yeah, that's pretty much anime for me right now.
Just waiting.
Yeah.
Have you watched Death Parade?
No. What is that one about?
It's about the afterlife,
Ah.
kind of, and it explores like people and like each episode or like every 2 episodes is like its own little arc. It's only like 11 episodes or something,
Hmm.
and like Death Parade was like really good. It's pretty short, but
Nice.
and has good. I like the music.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna have you come up with a list for me, and I'll watch those
Yeah, when you have
before
time,
the end
watch
of the year. Yeah, throughout the year. But yeah. So I guess other stuff you're interested in watching. Do you just curious? Cause I don't know if I've ever asked you, but do you watch any sports
it. Not right now.
or?
Like I like to watch badminton and like
Uh-huh.
tennis, but that's about it.
Okay.
But I don't like actively like seek it out.
Uh.
If there's a match on like YouTube, I'll watch it or something.
Uh. Is there a reason you don't watch like any of the American sports, like football or baseball, basketball?
Um, I don't. I just don't care too much.
Ah, okay.
like, like if my friends are watching it and like they're having a party, like yeah, I'll go watch it. Like I know what's going on.
Oh, okay. So,
Went to every, yeah, I went to every single high school football game
uh-huh.
because I was in marching band. Yeah,
Uh,
so I don't think I missed a single one. I went to every single one. So
nice.
like at the beginning, like I had no idea like what are these rules, but like
Uh-huh.
I don't know. My friends taught me and like figured out, told me what was going on.
Int-
So I eventually like learned what was going on.
Did you
So like
enjoy it while you were there?
it's like pretty fun to watch like people tackle each other.
Uh-huh.
If like people like catch the ball really well, it's like pretty sick.
Yeah.
Like when you like dive to catch the ball and whatever, and like 50 people jump on the guy, it's like pretty fun.
Yeah. Okay,
But
just
like
yeah.
sometimes like the games are kind of boring and kind of dumb. It's like I watched a game the other day where like a few months ago where like there was just like every single play like the other team like questioned like whether there was like if that play was legal or like there was like a yellow flag like every other play. I'm like the game took so long because they were just discussing whether things were legal the whole time. I'm just like game, just no more.
Okay. I'm just curious because I was watching, I guess, one of the podcasts that like I sometimes watch. It's like an esports talk show, like call in, and one of the people who called in was like the for LCS, the North American League of Legends Pro League. They were like, there is a problem where people don't care about the bottom, like the teams that don't win basically, and
Yeah.
they had like a very unique solution to how to fix it that I feel like a lot of people think is wrong, but it was one of those where it's like food for thought. It was so did you ever watch LCS?
Yeah.
Okay. So, did you follow any other esports?
Uh, no,
Okay.
just League
Just
because I
League?
played it.
Okay. Yeah.
Like even
'Cause
when I played Overwatch, I didn't watch
okay.
Overwatch League.
And then I guess when you watch the league, like were you just watching like one or two teams or all the games?
Uh, I watched whenever I had time or
Okay.
like whenever I felt like it, and then but I liked watching. I like Bjergsen a lot because I'm a mid
Mhm.
laner,
Yeah.
and so like I like to watch Bjergsen play. So like I watch TSM a lot,
Uh,
and
okay.
then I like to watch High when he was still
Yeah.
here on C9, but High
Yeah.
hasn't been there for a
Yeah, yeah.
while.
Yeah. His lungs gave out in 2014 and hasn't been the same since.
Yeah.
But yeah. Just curious because the person their suggestion was basically to drive engagement, they would uh they would make the LCS season longer by making like so a regular there's 10 teams in the league right now
Yeah.
and they do a double round robin into playoffs. So basically every team
Okay.
gets 18 games. So they say like add at least 20 go back to like 30 go four best of ones for every team so that's 36 games or more so that more storylines can develop cuz and also like because there's such a high volume of games you can switch out players and kind of like use the subsystem correctly cuz if you slot in like your mid laner is like sucking for a week so you're like dude bench player get in here and he plays two matches of like actual competitive games
yeah.
like those two matches are like 1 week out of 9 for your season. So that was like their complaint, but also like that way more people will care about like the basically the bottom 7 teams, the teams that don't win.
Oh.
So yeah, but that I saw that and I was like, this person doesn't like for me. That's like so their solution was to just add more games. And how you do that is you get rid of like international play and you make it like soccer where you stick to your league and then like you have a World
Every
Cup
four
basically.
years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like this.
Yeah, I don't either. When I heard that, I was like, I can't watch this anymore. I was like, this is such a stupid idea. But I
I
was just,
think
yeah,
NA needs to know how
yeah,
outclassed they are
yeah,
by Koreans. And
yeah,
I think in 4 years, if they don't play the Koreans, they'll be like, we're so good, and they'll
yeah,
get smashed.
yeah. But it also got me thinking, like, you know, it is true that like the bottom LCS teams, like, they have horrible fan bases, like horrible in the sense that they don't have any fans.
They probably have a
So,
little bit, but
yeah,
like,
but like compared to like TSM, C9,
yeah,
but like I was thinking about it and the guy was trying to use like regular sports as cuz like in baseball they have like 100 game seasons, in basketball they have
yeah.
like 80 game seasons. But I was thinking about it. I'm like, does anybody really know who's on the Browns? You know, the Cleveland Browns, like the worst franchise in NFL like recent history. Does anybody know who's like one place above the Browns? Kind of thing. It's like
Yeah, who's
unless
like above
yeah,
the ground? Like
yeah.
no one knows.
Unless like you're from the city where you're like, dude, we beat the Browns. That's all that matters,
Yeah.
right? So I was just curious, like, yeah, because I didn't know. If you do you try to follow any like, or did you ever try to follow like local sports teams? So like,
Nope.
no, really?
I guess like the Suns and like the Cardinals,
Yeah.
and like okay, not the Suns as much, but I don't
Hmm.
watch that much basketball.
Yeah.
But like Cardinals, like my freshman year of like college,
Uh-huh.
I used to go to a church on Mill, which is like
Uh-huh.
a church like right next to campus. So like I didn't have a car, so like it's a lot more convenient for me.
Uh-huh.
And we're like right off campus, not like, but like every Sunday, like football games are on Sundays, right?
Hmm.
So after service, like they would invite the college kids to like have lunch and like watch some football and stuff. So like I'll go watch football with them sometimes. So like and like we just like wait for the Cardinals to play.
Oh, cool.
Much. I saw like I watched the Super Bowl and the Cardinals
Oh, nice.
were playing like a few years ago where they got wrecked, but by
Yeah.
I don't remember who.
Yeah. I remember that year. I had a friend who was like, "Yo, I'm so hyped. I'm flying out there." And then we got wrecked.
I mean, it wasn't that bad. We didn't get.
Yeah.
I don't think.
No, I think it was no, no, it was a while ago.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I just yeah, I was just curious because like thinking about because the person also brought up like there's one team in the LCS that is basically owned by the people who own the Houston Rockets,
yeah.
and their whole thing they're called Clutch Gaming because
Oh, okay.
yeah, and like their whole branding is like we're from Texas, even though none of their players are from Texas. They're like we're the Texas brand, and like their sponsor on their jersey is like a Texas barbecue chain.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah. So like their whole branding is that. And then the rumor is that they're good the people the Houston Rockets people are gonna sell a majority share to like another team. And the rumor is the 76ers who own Dignitas, that old org.
Yeah.
So the rumor is that that org or the 76ers and Dignitas are gonna buy majority share and then they're gonna change the branding back to Dignitas. So there were
What?
people that were like, but all my Texas fans. So
Oh,
that's why I was just curious, like cause I guess in like Overwatch League they don't really have like esports teams like TSM
yeah.
C9 where it's like a global brand.
I
They're
guess
trying,
it kind
yeah,
actually kind of is like
yeah,
those teams like
uh-huh,
are are owned by like people
yeah,
also,
yeah, yeah,
right? And
yeah,
like people are sponsors those teams. And
hmm,
there's actually like a lot of like big companies who
yeah,
sponsor. I don't remember which. You had to
yeah,
ask like I know people care a lot about
yeah,
like things, and I know
yeah,
them.
yeah,
They always talk about it.
yeah.
But
Well,
like I actually want to when I saw this topic, I actually want to
hmm,
talk about watch like
cool,
yeah, like every team like comes from a different place,
yeah,
right? You have
yeah, yeah. But
the Shanghai Dragons and
uh-huh, yeah,
London
yeah, yeah.
Spitfire or whatever.
Yeah, but just like that's branding, so they're like, it's the London Spitfire with a full Korean roster.
Yeah, but like
Yeah,
because like if you slap on London on there,
yeah,
right?
uh-huh,
Like you do get more fans from
yeah,
London.
yeah. That's why I was curious if you like, you don't follow sports, but like, do you try to root? I was wondering if you try to root for like the home team,
Yeah, I usually
Yeah,
try to root for the
and
home team
yeah,
unless
that's yeah,
yeah unless they're actually garbage, then maybe not. But like even if like they're garbage, I'll root them for them a little bit. I'll just like someone else
yeah,
more.
okay, yeah, because that was another solution people were saying is that like, for the lower teams, just straight up just be like, you know, we're CLG. We are located in Pasadena, you know, or some random city, and they're just like, we're the team that represents this city, kind of thing.
You can do that if
Yeah,
you can like make it work.
yeah. I was just
So
curious. Yeah, I was just curious because, like, for me, I like jokingly like the Cardinals just because it's like they're good enough to not be the Browns,
yeah,
but
dude, Larry's a
yeah,
legend.
yeah. Larry, it's Larry, and then a bunch of adults.
Yeah,
That's how I see the Cardinals. So whenever they win, I'm
yeah,
like, yeah. And then when they lose, I'm like, well, that's expected, kind of thing. I'm like, as long as they do better than the Browns, I'm fine.
you can't
But
do
yeah,
worse than.
pretty much. That's like my only requirement. But I was just curious because, you know, the even though that guy's idea of like how to increase the league, like the lower teams,
Mhm.
was like, in my opinion, it wasn't that great, but it was like thinking about alternatives to do that. So it's like instead of being like, oh, we're gonna kill international play, we're gonna add more games. It's like, what if the teams themselves try to rebrand or something, or
Yeah,
get better at branding?
I think like the lower tier teams. Honestly, it's like impossible to get
Yeah.
more
Hmm.
fans unless you're good, and
Yeah.
like no one wants to watch you if you're bad
Yeah.
because they watch because it's only fun to watch when it's like good
Yeah. Yeah.
gameplay and like people players can tell if it's good. Like even like yes, all these players are like technically
Mm.
or they are pro players and they
Yeah.
are very good at what
Hmm.
they do,
Yeah.
but they're the worst of the good
Yeah,
players,
yeah.
and like
That
the even bad players can tell that they aren't as good.
Yeah, that was the funny thing was for this playoffs, they were like, we're gonna hype it up because it starts in league, the top six go to playoffs, and then 3 to 6 play each other, and then the winners of those can play 1 and 2 seed. And like
Oh,
for the 3 through 6 seed to hype it up, they were like, they had people in the studio with people's like the jerseys and stuff. I'm like, Golden Guardians finished 10th place twice last year. No one has a jersey. And they have like the full or like the local LCS arena like full with Golden Guardian gear. I'm like, even the Golden Guardian staff don't have that much Golden Guardian gear. So it's very
yeah,
funny that they but yeah, it just got me thinking like how to because that is a problem because it's like in a franchise league instead of just being like a soccer like a European soccer league where if you suck you're just out.
yeah,
It's like, you know, if the bottom gets more popular, everyone else can get popular kind of thing, or like
yeah,
it
yeah,
helps the whole ecosystem. So I was just thinking up ideas because it's like I've been watching Pro League since like season one, so I'm like I kind of want to keep this around for a while. I've invested so much time into watching.
yeah.
Yeah,
But like, I don't know, like esports are like so different because then like physical sports
yeah,
because they just like they the meta changes like
yeah,
every patch, not
yeah, yeah,
not just like every year, but
yeah,
every patch it changes a lot.
yeah.
And
That.
so like when it changes that much, like you can't really have the too long of like a season
Mhm.
or like yeah, you can't do the every 4 year world thing because
Yeah,
like every time you play, like the game will be so different.
yeah.
And when it's too long, like it takes like the people who are patching the game like have less time
Mhm.
because you got to change to a new season for the regular players too.
Yeah.
So and yeah, the players need a break. Can't have that long of a season. And for the alternate, like the backup players, I guess
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It just sucks.
Yeah, it was just funny because the guy was like, "Yeah, dude, if you add more games, they'll have more hype." I was like, Do we not forget the year where we had best of threes, and you would have like C9 TSM playing a best of three, and it would peak like 300,000 viewers, and then it's like Phoenix One versus 10th place Team Liquid, and it'd be like 10,000 views.
Yeah, like if honestly, if it was just like TSMC on every single
Yeah,
game, like that'd be like so hype.
yeah,
And like I'd watch so many more games.
yeah. But it was just funny because they were like, "Yeah, dude, you add more games, the individual games will matter less." And I'm like, "Wait, you want people to care about your games?"
Yeah, that's the point here.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah. So let's see, and then what do you think of? Have you watched any Overwatch League?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, what do you think of their format?
I actually don't know the format that well.
Okay,
I'm really confused on what's going on.
so I think all right. So I also try to watch the games, but the format confuses me. But so I think it's they have a bunch of teams in the Overwatch League, and then they split them up into pools of like, are you on the Atlantic or the Pacific region?
They
Like
do that?
your team logo, basically. And
Okay.
then like you get X amount of teams to play each other in one
Okay.
group and then another group, and then you play for seeding for the so it's like so they have stages, so it's like 4 stages, and that builds into the season playoffs basically.
Huh.
So like you have stage one, say I don't remember how many teams there are, but like say you have like 5 teams and 5 teams. The 5 teams will play each other,
Oh, okay.
and then
Yeah, they
like
added more teams this year.
yeah, and then after that, you get your seeds from there. So like the top two from each group will play in the playoffs, or like top three or something. And then the winner of that will just be the state like the current stage winner. And based on how you do overall throughout the season, that's how you rank for playoffs. So
Okay.
like if you finished, first in all 4 stages, you're seed one basically,
Okay.
kind of thing. and
I
it's
think
like,
like
yeah,
Overwatch League is kind of like dying,
yeah,
like in terms of viewers. Like I heard one of my friends who follows it or
uh-huh.
who used to follow it more is like so. I think if you watch over, like if you like are kind of into Overwatch, you know this kid like
Hmm.
XQC, like the player,
Yeah,
where like they like banned him because like he did a few dumb things,
yeah,
but like they overly banned him,
yeah,
and so like because people liked him a lot, they banned him. Like they lost so much like viewers and stuff, so
yeah,
many viewers, and like then they lost like so much standing with like the
yeah,
people, general public,
yeah. It's very
and like
funny. They try to be like super PC and like Disney
yeah,
oriented.
yeah. So like because
Yeah.
they're like so PC and stuff, like a lot of players, like too many players got in trouble and stuff, and
Hmm.
they just no, no, it's not great for them. I think they screwed themselves over a little bit there.
Yeah. But besides all the bad choices and all like the banning of like memes and stuff,
Yeah.
do you think I guess small like would you prefer watching like an Overwatch League in League or like how they have two splits now? Where it's like basically five you get 5 weeks and then you get a mini playoffs like every like 2 months and then you get a break in between like a 2 week break in between and then like 2 months of league
Uh,
play into like a smaller playoffs, and then that builds into like your season playoffs.
Honestly, I don't know enough about both.
Hmm.
Like, I don't care enough about both
Okay.
to like say anything.
Yeah,
Like Overwatch, I'm just
yeah,
like teams play. I
yeah,
get to watch them.
yeah,
That's sick. And like same thing for League. It's like, oh, these teams are playing. That's sick.
yeah.
Like,
Okay.
like even like for Worlds, like Worlds is just like a huge bracket and like the
Yeah.
groups, right? Groups and
Hmm.
then into huge bracket,
Yeah.
and then it's like, okay, this is what's going on. It's fine, and it's
So
just cool to watch them play.
yeah. So I guess another I think well you watch some Smash, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
watch
So
Smash.
that's a well some people in Smash are like, dude, we're an esport, and some are like, get out of here with your esports nonsense.
Wait,
So
they're definitely in esports.
well
Like people are
in
sponsored and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah, but like in the community they're like get like they don't like that title because it implies a bunch of like corporate stuff and they try to be
I
grassroots,
guess.
but like I just
But
mean like it I see it
like
as an esport like you do, so I
yeah,
mean what yeah.
all the top players are sponsored. Like
Hmm.
they're sponsored by Red Bull,
Yeah,
like very heavily. Like TSM has like a few players.
yeah. Hmm.
Like C9 has a few players.
Yeah.
Echo Fox has
Uh-huh.
players. So man, TSM has like yeah has like two top players and like I don't there might be one person I don't remember if there was and like Echo Fox has Mewtwo King and
Yeah.
C9 has Mango.
Hmm.
So yeah, I
So
don't actually know the ultimate people.
yeah, I'm waiting on that. But what do you think about like I guess because we were just discussing formats
Yeah,
as a viewer, do you like the Smash format of like random draw and then you play your way through like a swarm of people to bracket stage?
yeah, I think I do like it like because uh, they kind of just like for the general tournaments
Hmm.
like not like Smash. So Smash Summit is just
Yeah,
like a
invite
tournament
only.
where yeah, invite only like of the best players and like or the top few seeds are like invite only,
Hmm.
and then like you have popular vote for like the last few.
Uh-huh.
But like popular vote is still like if you're good, you get voted in
Yeah.
usually.
Uh-huh.
So it's still like how good you are. But like in the like for Genesis and stuff, like obviously you get invited if you're good, but also like almost anyone can join. And like I think anyone can join actually, and then like you just play through like swarms of people,
Yeah.
and like if you're a pro player, you don't lose to like bad people,
Hmm.
and you get two tries. So when you lose, you go to a losers like bracket or whatever.
Yeah.
Then it's just like a huge bracket, right?
Hmm.
Where you just play through, and I think it's fine. Like in league, where when you don't have as many teams, and also like the games take like so much longer,
Yeah.
you obviously can't do that.
Hmm.
But like in Smash, where the games are faster, and you also have like hundreds of people playing against each other. I think it works really well.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it a lot, and like it's very clear like who's gonna play against who.
Yeah.
So it makes it really easy for everyone to like figure out what's going on.
Yeah. That's yeah. That I guess.
Instead of like bracket and then another, they're doing a little playoff group stage thing now,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
more another bracket,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah. It's like
I'm
bracket
like
into
why?
bracket, and you're just like, can we just have one big bracket?
Yeah, that
It
that makes so much
works.
more
Yeah.
sense.
Okay. All right. We're we're a little early, but I think it's a good place to stop the podcast.
Are we
We
early?
yeah.
Oh, we are so early.
But we talked about a lot.
Yeah, I felt
So
like that was really long.
yeah. So
Probably head to the
yeah.
gym now. So
Yeah. So esports is cool and happy Easter.
yeah, happy Easter.
All right.
Jesus
Yep.
is risen.
Jesus is risen and someone in esports will win.
Yeah, so someone will win. I don't know what's going on in
Yeah.
esports anymore. I haven't watched.
All right.
All
Yep.
right. See you guys
That's
later.
podcast number 24. Play us out, Larry.
I can't pick up my pick. Let's see. Play.
Larry, your volume died. Yeah, you started playing. There you go. Great chords to end on.